In this lesson, we are going to talk about challenges a university faces, so that you can have some context about the solutions we are going to propose. You can make similar analysis in your own institution. And rather than looking for problems where remote action is needed, we are focusing on gathering meaningful information that can be used afterwards. This information collected can become part of a larger institutional intelligence initiative or a data warehouse approach that you are building. For that, we analyzed the university, thinking about what happens in a regular day. We are going to start by analyzing how people reach the university. The majority of people use public transport. However, a lesser part uses individual transports that need to be parked somewhere. And that's an issue. The less individual transport arrive, the better. So promoting car sharing, for instance, could be worth a try. But once in the institution, people will move from building to building, and also within the same campus or outside the campus to another one. This kind of mobility may require, again, individual transport and, of course, a place to park again. Nevertheless, when the distances are short, mobility can be transformed to a better form. As we will see, mobility can be also made by foot or by bicycle, which are very good for health of the people. In the meantime, handling parking lots seems to be something to care about. Virtually every equipment in a building will eventually fail. Therefore, knowing what is broken or defective prior to a failure is a first issue. A missing light bulb, a defective LED, a heater that does not heat enough. One thing is knowing that it's going to fail, but we also need to locate this device inside the building, this equipment. Reparation requests can be issued, of course, but wouldn't it be better if we knew in advance that something is going not to work properly? What if nobody told us and we just knew? So let's just think that reparations are needed. Or maybe not. Maybe we could try some kind of preventing maintenance, trying to foresee when an equipment is going to fail, because we have enough information on how it is working inside. Many times, the reason for the failure is overuse of the equipment. Examples of overuse is related, for instance, heating a room where nobody is inside. Why? Or keeping the lights on when also there is nobody inside. Why again? There are special cases, like expensive equipment, such as an industrial air conditioning. This kind of equipment is worth to have extra monitoring, even though the extra monitoring requires additional cost. Knowing or having information of the internals of these devices can help us to foresee future failures. Hence, we need to remote monitor to identify these failures that are going to happen or are already happening in advance only when it is worth. For instance, in the case of this this expensive air conditioning equipment, but it may not be necessary in the case of the light bulb. Some issues that happen in a university related to health are probably common everywhere where there are offices. How we live and how we work are two important things. And given how much time we spend at work, to have a healthy life means that we need to take care of the working space. Sedentarism is common in office environment, and detecting it in advance would be great. Helping people to move and walk regularly is working towards good health. Also, the quality of the working environment or the outsides. If you have an allergy to pollen, you surely check regularly pollen levels in the environment. If you don't have any allergy, I congratulate you. But probably you should care also about the pollution level or the poor quality in your office. A sign that the quality of the air in your office is poor is to have a high level of CO2. Hence, when you have this high level, you should ventilate the place. Noise also can be disturbing and cause unnecessary distress. It's not only people talking, but also telephones, music. Knowing how much noise a place has helps to make it a better place. It is obvious that technology can help to this. But what about the last one? Emotional well-being. Having and keeping relationships should be part of our concerns. Talking to others, sharing your thoughts, all this is necessary. This is perhaps the most difficult part to deal with, but also something that contributes the most to a healthy working environment. Nevertheless, rather than trying to solve this by technology, why not creating the activities or making possible the activities and contexts where these social relationships are easier to accomplish? Technology can help us to build places where collaboration is more natural and people feel more prompt to collaborate with each other. Education and research are the two main missions of the university, being the third to transfer this knowledge to the society. Digitalization of the education is something already happening nowadays. Not much to add to it, because we have advanced so much, but we forget that the classroom is a working place too. So the previous considerations about working places conditions are applicable here too. Also, we could identify what inconveniences a professor or a student find when entering a classroom. For instance, it's not uncommon that you cannot identify the name of a random student in the classroom. Also, facilitate classroom dynamics would be interesting. We have witnessed how dynamic quizzes with the audience can enlighten a lesson, making it more fun to the students. Similarly, we could find more ways in which a student could participate into the lecture. Research has its own problems too. Many of the experiments a scientist does requires observing the progress of the experiment itself. Obviously, technology aiming to remote monitoring of these experiments will be welcome. But this is not always true. Many of the experiments require also action. And remember, we are going to focus on monitoring. But it's worth thinking that remote monitoring could be also welcome in a part of the experiments a university does. We have identified many problems in a university. Surely you will find that many of them happen also in your own institution. Mainly, we have talked about the people and what they do. It is not always the goal to spend less effort, as in the monitoring of an installation. It can also be the goal to start new activities that bring new life to the university. There was certain contention in the presentation of ideas. Although the technology has played a role in thinking about this use case, it was purposely avoided to be too specific on what technology was more suitable for each case. In the next lesson, we will continue this analysis to think about the best ways to address these and other challenges. For now, let me propose you a similar exercise for your institution. Identify a list of problems and try to arrange them in order of priority and feasibility.